If you're watching this video, it should be because you received an email that did the following claims and had the following characteristics. 1, it may have started off by telling you a previous password or a current one. Number 2, somewhere in it will be a claim that you need to use a Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some other cryptocurrency link or code to pay them money. Next, don't do that. It will include the ability, because it's an email usually, but not always, of you being able to reply to the person. Don't do that. This is how you research the claim. Number 1, it will make a claim somehow that'll include a lot of the following things, but not necessarily all of them. That has a video of you on screen from a webcam or some other source, maybe your cell phone, showing you doing something that they claim will make you look bad and be a humiliating or embarrassing thing. Number 2, it will claim, also maybe, that it includes a video that you were supposed to be watching that contained pornography or something else embarrassing. Next, it will make a claim that the pornography you watched was from a website they had control over, that it installed malware or a virus on your computer, that it gained control over said camera, your cell phone, whatever, and that they're going to put that up to make you look bad. Now, if someone has actually gone ahead and phonied one of these together, this is how somebody would do it. As you might have noticed on my channel, yes, I'm putting myself over in this corner on purpose. I make videos that are exploitable. An exploitable video or exploitable multimedia content is one that is easily manipulated into being something that it isn't. I could put a green box over here or just put my hand like this, and someone could now insert all sorts of things into it. I'm not giving permission to do this, but someone could put in something like that, which doesn't make sense if I'm supposed to be watching something on a cell phone, and claim that I was looking at a video of SingStar going, oh yeah, that's it. Oh, you're sexy. Like that. Or they could just make the slightly higher effort. By the way, that's very low effort. This idiot that I'm going to talk about today did not do that. They could make a little more effort by grabbing my face, again, a very exploitable, easily transferred face, and stick it onto an actor's head, color corrected if they wish to be very high quality, and put me into a porn, which someone really did do once. One frame, but they did do that. You can imagine what they did. And no, it's not on, it really isn't on Pornhub. I made jokes about that, but it wasn't. That's my normal account. But anyway, the point is, someone didn't even make that effort. There's literally an app on your cell phone you can get that could do this kind of crap. All right? No, someone's claimed, I have a video that they could obviously, as you may have understood, falsified completely. But at least a falsifiable statement would be, here's a link to the page that I have that'll only work once that contains a video of you doing something reprehensible, which I would immediately just grab. I wouldn't watch. I would just download it onto my computer, no matter how incriminating it might seem, so that I have a copy of it so I can evaluate it and then give them a grade of A through Z or D, saying, yeah, you suck at this. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't communicate with them because until I respond to them, they don't know if they've gotten through to my email account. They don't know if I've actually seen it. Me doing this video is an indication that I've seen on one of the now almost a dozen accounts I use for various purposes this at least once, including an account that I deliberately used the weakest password I could come up with on a bunch of websites and use that as the confirmation email account on Gmail or Yahoo or whatever. Waiting literally a decade for someone to send me one more time one of these shitty postings. So in 2018, somebody put up a sextortion or ransomware blackmail porn scam like this. They would send you what they thought was your password, or at least something good enough that it would fool you into thinking they might have it. And they would claim that they had access to your contacts list and everything like that. They were going to send a video to everybody that was posted on a porn site. These days, they just they'll send it. Back in the old days when you had low bandwidth, they would send you to a porn page and say that's totally you. The other low effort ones, these are just a little bit more effort than what we're seeing here, would send someone to a page that had a lookalike of you. Now, again, these days we would just cut and paste it with a deep fake, but in the old days they would just look for a porn actor that looks vaguely like you. Because they would just use Google image search to locate you, because you could put in a parameter to look on porn sites to find an actor that looked enough like you that certain frames would look like you. That's all they had to do. Yes, that happened to me. Probably happened to some of you. The point I'm making here is don't respond to them in any way. Now, what's in the email you got? It might include a sequence of numbers and letters that goes on and on for several digits, and that's for a Bitcoin account. And it has a dollar equivalent. And you can just use that to look up if they've ever succeeded at this. The guy who originated this, or one of the people who originated this scam in 2018, July 12th, used a Bitcoin account and made a cool $2,000 from 2018. Let's see, that's 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah. 3 years, $2,000. That's enough for the ketchup packets at McDonald's once a day, right? So yeah, this is not a successful way to make money. I don't even know why anybody would bother with it. And that's total transactions. That could be getting $1,000, having to give it back when he went to jail for a long time for $1,000 stinking dollars. So anyway, this guy, this noob from 2 weeks ago, sets up a Bitcoin account, sends me the Bitcoin data, says, I got you on film doing something dirty. Again, not like you couldn't just green screen the crap out of this. That's happened enough that I think it's kind of funny. Didn't even do that. No, just says I have it and doesn't show me proof of it. I mean, even a faked video would be funny at least. Really? Now, the next part of this is, this noob gave me the Bitcoin data, so I looked them up and found out they didn't make a dime in the last 2 weeks. And there's also a place called Bitcoin Abuse where people are making fun of the guy. Now, I don't recommend logging in there and giving a password to log in or doing anything like that at all. But I think it's funny that they're making fun of him. Same idiot, same scam, same stuff. Including the guy, again, from 2018 who may have originated, being made fun of and only making $2,000 stinking dollars total. Or maybe they just make more and more accounts. That's possible too, but it's likely they just failed. Next, blockchain.com/search/? Bang splat equals yada yada with the code. You can look up their entire history there too. But Bitcoin Abuse, you get to post abuse statements about them. Now, another website called Have I Been PWNED. That's owned with a P instead of an O because they're right next to each other. That error many years ago spawned a meme called pwned, we call it. It's actually just owned with a P instead. And you can look there and look up your email address. Now, please understand, if you've ever used an email account, it's on a spammer list most likely. A lot of you hit reply all or reply to everybody on your contact list and ended up sending everybody's email to everybody else, increasing the spam likelihood by crazy amounts. If you've had an account from 10 years ago, it's on the spam list. But you can find out it's on the spam list by looking up haveibeenowned.com. And you can look up the email address. You can also do another thing which is much more dangerous. Again, do not reply to a scammer or spammer ever unless you're an expert at this. And I've done this before and I won't do it. Okay? Don't. Next, this person isn't worth our effort if they didn't send you a link to at least a badly faked version of you. Again, I'm making this easy to do and you're not taking advantage of it. You obviously don't know who I am. So you don't know, you haven't seen me. But anyway, don't communicate with them. Don't give them any money. Look up the information in a passive way. And don't assume they actually have your password, even if they sent it to you. Because they didn't break into your accounts and start breaking shit. You don't have an alert about somebody logging in suspiciously? I'm aware this is one of your passwords. So you don't know it's a current one or a one I made visible everywhere to get people to try to scam me? Let's get directly to the point. Not a single person has compensated me to check about you. And then a bunch of other claims, including I want $2,770, etc., use my Bitcoin account. Never been paid once, by the way, this guy. Now let's get to the next thing. How do we secure our passwords and logins? I mean, you might have wondered about that. Now, you can look this up anywhere you want, but in the old days, you type in a password and a login, and they were visible. Your password was not encrypted or hidden in any way. Not secure. A minor way of securing it was to have your web browser use an agreed-upon hashing method. It would take the password and login, whatever it was. It could be your email address or a word. Didn't matter. I personally use a word instead of an email address. Or it might have included the email address, the way you typed in your login handle, and the third option would be the password. It would take these three components, or two, or maybe more, and make a hash out of them. The hash is all the computer saw because it would then say, when the person set up their account, they typed in a password to log in and gave me the hash. All they ever see is a hash. They don't actually get a plain text version of the password. 10 years ago, it was a plain text password. Or maybe more years ago, or maybe more recently. Some cheaply made websites have a database containing passwords and logins, and they're broken into all the time. That's why you don't use your passwords over and over again. I made a deliberately shitty password for doing those kinds of websites because then I'll know immediately that someone thinks they have my account by doing this kind of email. It happened today. Yes, it's a really weak password, like literally WAPTech is sexy. It's WAPTech is sexy. But anyway, thank you very much for letting me troll you. So anyway, what good does this do? Well, they didn't make a falsifiable claim. A falsifiable claim, I'm using that expression again. If someone makes a claim you can't test, they're not making a claim. If a fortune teller tells you something vague that's easily said and not really confirmable, they're not making a claim. Then you say you have to make a falsifiable claim. Someone claiming I have your password, but it's one from 10 years ago I deliberately let be open, that's not a claim. But what if I had a password in the past that was a derivation of it? It was similar in some way, like I hit the shift key and typed it in. People do that all the time. I do that to make those bad passwords. They're traps, but I use that. But that means a person can guess what the password is by figuring out, okay, what is he typing in? Someone actually guessed at one time because I gave them a list of it, printed out, and they're like, oh, you're a fan of such and such TV show. So I stopped using that for even my junk ones that I do for faking out people. And that's the problem. If you do it in such a way that you can figure out what the password is by trying 3 times or whatever, you're making it easy for people to figure it out. So don't do that. Now, one of the things you can do on haveibeenowned.com, again, I got to repeat this, is you can type in passwords to see if they've been used before or compromised. One of them is listing as being breached. That means it was gotten because someone grabbed it from Google, their servers, or from email server somewhere. It may have been a weakly done website, a poorly written porn site that you might have signed up for, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Even if you used a shitty password on it, it'll find that. Those are actual hacks. The non-hacks are someone got your email and just decided to use the email address and dump it to spam. Give it to spammers so they can spam you. People do that sometimes. You might have also done that accidentally by responding to a spam by hitting reply all, and everybody else got your email account reply. That's why you don't reply to spam either. So let's review. Someone doesn't have a video of you unless they show it to you. Someone doesn't have a video of you going to a website supposedly getting infected and getting access to your webcam either. And a lot of you already put up videos on the net where they could fake this easily. They would have to do a really good job proving that this was really something that happened. Next, it's not embarrassing to anybody normal that I know of that they went to a porn site once in their life. So here's how they'd have to prove it. They never do this. On this date, you went to this website, this specific video, looked at it, and it was infected, and I infected your computer at this moment and used your webcam for this period of time, and here's a copy of the video I got from you while you were watching it. And you can look at the video, it's still up, and hear the video in the background, even though I wear earphones if I look at anything on the net. And there you are bopping along, watching it, and listening to the music on Pornhub. We all know the Pornhub intro music. You all know it. Don't lie to me. I wrote that. So anyway, so in review, please don't Google your password or login or email address. Just don't, because you'll find a bunch of people spamming it, or a system out there will guess it. It's not that hard to come up with billions of passwords. That's easy. Trying them is hard and doesn't work. And this person doesn't have anything on you, so don't respond to them and don't give them any money. What you want to do is looking up their Bitcoin and seeing if anybody else is making fun of them. That's fun. Last, most of you have stuff secured by your IP address, your MAC address, the password, the login, the actual email address used for it, and a bunch of other shit to make it to where this is almost impossible these days. And it still gets broken into, but they usually get bupkis when they do it. Don't reply to this person. Don't give them any money. Don't trust them. And if you are worried about it, change your passwords. There's nothing wrong with that. You should do it every once in a while. And don't reuse passwords or make anything derivational. Don't make a password mutate into another one. That's very easy to track. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And don't worry.